There's no point in planning for tomorrow when I can't even get through today. There's no escaping my sorrow, no. Wish I could find another way. Doop-dooby-doo-wah, I said, doop-dooby-doo-wee. There's no word in the world express the way I feel. Doop-dooby-doo-wee. Feel like I'm slipping under. Now I pray for glory be. Let no man put us under, no, like sunder done to me. Doop-dooby-doo-wah, I said, doop-dooby-doo-wee. There's no word in the world express the way I feel. Doop-dooby-doo-wee. Now there's no reason for rescue from the hole I'm in, for no matter what you do, I'll fall back in again. Doop-dooby-doo-wah, I said, doop-dooby-doo-wee. There's no word in the world express the way I feel. Doop-dooby-doo-wee. There's no point in planning for tomorrow when I can't even get through today. There's no escaping my sorrow, no. Wish I could find another way. Doop-dooby-doo-wah, I said yeah, doop-dooby-doo-wee. There's no word in the world express the way I feel. Doop-dooby-doo-wee. Now if I'm ever remembered when I'm dead and history, it'll be because no one ever heard of a man as pitiful as me. Doop-dooby-doo-wah, I said yeah, doop-dooby-doo-wee. There's no word in the world express the way I feel. Doop-dooby-doo-wee. 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 There's no word in the world express my misery. Doop-dooby-doo-wee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to It Matters Radio. And as you know, this is Sunday, and it's one of our favorite days of the week because not only can we bring you fantastic music, we can also introduce you to the people behind the music. And Kerry, I understand today you have someone that we have not heard from in quite a while.
Yes, we haven't. I'd like to introduce to our viewers once more, John Cee Stannard. He is a folk blues singer, author, songwriter, you name it. He's even done films. So it's going to be great talking to him again. We're going to catch up with him because it's been a couple of years. Hi, John, and welcome to the show.
Hi, John.
Kerry. Yeah, hi, Monica as well. It's good to be with you again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Love the hat.
Yes, the hat's very nice indeed. So, John, I'm going to take you back a few years. Let's go back to the 1960s. You started a folk blues band called Tudor Lodge. So talk a little bit about the genesis of Tudor Lodge.
The genesis of Tudor Lodge, like most things, it was a fairly organic thing. It just sort of evolved slowly. Before Tudor Lodge, I'd been in just a regular pop group, like most people do, looking at people like Elvis Presley and the people that were big in the UK at the time. And then that kind of failed dismally, shall we say. I then met up with a guy who'd been going to folk clubs. I knew nothing about folk music at all. And I met this guy in a music store. We went to a folk club where he used to play. I thought, this is quite interesting. And he suggested that we team up and play as a duo. It was a guy called Roger Strevens. And that's what we did. I was absolutely terrified. And on one of the first occasions that we were there, it was a small club called the White Horse in Reading, maybe 24 people there. And we were announced to go on. And Roger had decided at that moment he needed to go to the toilet. So he wasn't in the room. So I had to get up onto the stage or get up at the front without Roger there. And I was so terrified. I got about 30 seconds into a song and my fingers froze and I just couldn't make them work. And I just had to apologize and leave because I couldn't function. I was so scared. But, you know, baptism of fire, I guess. I stayed, we worked together for about 6 months. And I learned quite a lot from him because he had a great rapport with an audience, which is something I knew nothing about. And he was just a funny character as well. And we did manage to get about 6 bookings in the calendar. And then before the first one, he decided that he'd had enough of working with me and left.
Oh,
Oh, geez.
And so I thought, well, I'd like to honour those engagements. So I went to local folk clubs looking around to see if somebody could help me out. And I went over to Windsor. There was a club in Windsor. And there was a guy called Lyndon Green turned up. And he was just back from doing the hippie trail all around Turkey, and all the hippies were wandering around being ultra cool and saying yes man and things like that.
yeah.
And he was back and he was a terrific player. And I said, you know, would you help me out? I've got 6 bookings. And he agreed. And we just carried on from there. He just stayed. I couldn't get rid of him. He stayed. And we did those 6. We did some more. We got quite popular in our local area. Then we met Annie Stewart, who was from New York, and her mother was living over here. And she eventually left university in New York and came back and joined us. So then we were 3. And then that's how it just sort of evolved, really. Through another contact, we met a guy called Carl Blore in a little club called the Crucible in London. This would have been about 1969, probably, the end of 69. And it was a sort of modern jazz place. And why we were there, I have no idea, because we were totally wrong for the place. But we met this guy there, Carl, and he became our manager, which is how we ended up making this album back in
Tudor Lodge.
1971 that came out, and it folds out, big gatefold thing.
Cool. Oh, neat.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
huge thing.
That's very nice. And that's an actual LP.
Yeah, an actual LP. If you find that one online now, it's about $2,000.
Wow.
Wow. Amazing. Great.
Yeah. So that's how that happened. And then, so we did the album, and then things just fell apart a bit. Annie left. We did a short tour of Holland in early '72. And then we had to knock it on the head, really. It just wasn't quite gelling properly.
Right.
And then we reformed in 1980 with the originals. Then Annie left, and Lynn, who's my current partner, she joined in 1980. Lyndon left us a few years later and went to live in Australia. And Lynn and I have been working as a duo ever since.
Wow. Yes, talk about the thing, because for a while there you were kind of dry as far as songwriting, and then Lynn, is it Whitfield or Whitefield, came along?
Whiteland.
Whiteland, sorry. Lynn Whiteland came along and contributed some songs. You guys put together an album or two.
Or 3 or 4. Yes.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I wrote about half the songs on the LP, and then I had about a 40-year writer's block, which was very inconvenient, really.
I bet.
But luckily Lynn was writing. She's been quite prolific during the time, and so we did have music to play, and she provided almost all the music for that intervening period of time from then and until now. She still does. It was in 2011 I started writing again, but it just went in this new direction of blues. And I still have trouble writing a folk song that we can do with Tudor Lodge. It doesn't seem to work.
So now it's into blues. What drew you to blues specifically? Because you had been a folk artist for quite a while.
Yeah, that's right. That is, again, a very strange thing, because nothing drew me to it. It wasn't a decision at all. And I can remember it clearly. It was January of 2011. I wrote 6 songs. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. Coming back, 5 of them were attempts to write something folky and singer-songwriter that we could do with Tudor Lodge. One of them, it was a throwaway bluesy thing that was just a bit of fun. It was a little bit tongue-in-cheek. And I was at the folk club one night. Lynn wasn't there, so I played it. And people seemed to think it was quite good, which took me by surprise. I tried the other songs. People didn't seem to like them, and that steered me. And then I thought, oh, this is fun. So I wrote another one, and within 6 months or 7 or 8 months, I'd got about 20-30 songs that were blues based, and I was playing them at the clubs, and people were saying, actually, that's quite good. And I was having trouble believing it, to be honest, until I thought, well, now's the time for me to make a solo album, which is when I did the first one, which was that was the Do album, which is when that's when I first spoke to you, shortly after we'd done that.
Right, Do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Refresh my memory. What does Do mean? Just curious.
Yeah, this is the Do album comes from the title track on the album, which is the most intellectual song on the album, Doob Dooby Doo Wah.
I know. I like that song.
Highly intellectual.
Yes.
Basically, the premise of the song is that things are so bad there isn't a word for it.
I like that. That's pretty cool. I wanted to get off the music a little bit for now. You wrote a book called Grippin' Ham Tales. Talk a little bit.
You remember that?
I certainly do.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and I've been trying to arrange for it to come out in print, which is going to happen next year.
Good.
This is the artwork for it. It's been the guys at the publishers have come up with that.
Oh, I like it.
Cool.
Which is all very nice. There you are, the Grippin' and Tales there.
Perfect. Yes.
And so that I'm still working through about the 8th or 9th edit at the
Yes.
moment. And I've
Yeah.
just started working my way through it.
Right.
That's
So
the
hopefully,
hardest part, I think. Well, besides the marketing, but the editing.
and you always find something every single time.
Yeah.
This has been read by me about half a dozen times with an editing head on. It's been read by editors at the publishers and 2 other private editors that I've got, one of whom has read it about 4 times. And earlier this week, I still found one sentence where the character quoted was the wrong character.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and I have to say though, even the most popular and well-known writers, you'll find mistakes in their books. It just
Yeah.
happens,
I know.
because after a while you memorize your whole book, I think. After so much of reading it and reading.
And that's the problem when you know the book so well, isn't it? Because
Yes.
you read what you want to see because
Yes.
you know what it should be.
Right, and you don't catch it as well as somebody else's eyes would. So,
Right.
but that's good.
So tell me a little, just to give the viewers a little taste of what the Grip and Ham Tales are about.
A flavour of Grippenham Tales.
Yes.
Incidentally, I can show you another one. Don't
Okay.
go away.
Alrighty.
We will.
Because Right,
We'll stay
right
right
here.
here.
Here we are. I'm back again. This was my Christmas present to me last year from my sister. Because the book was only available online, she, from my wife, got a copy of the Word document
Yes.
and the artwork from that. And she then had a one-off book printed. And so
Aw.
I got my first hardcover as a gift last Christmas, which was really exciting.
How
So
nice.
I was thrilled to get that.
That's a
But,
nice,
yes.
large book too. It's not a
It
little
is,
one.
yes. I won't even ask her how much it cost.
Beautiful. So what's the story? Just a little bit.
Okay, well, it's a fantasy, and I describe it as kind of like, do you know Enid Blyton in America? Do you know the Enid Blyton books? They're
I don't.
Famous Five.
No.
It may not mean anything over there, but they were basically very popular 40, 50 years ago.
Mhm.
So they're quite innocent as children's stories go. And she did a series called the Famous Five, where they have all kinds of adventures. And I describe this as basically Harry Potter meets the Famous Five, because it's kind of modern, but there's a certain old-fashioned innocence about it. It's not dark. Harry Potter, I felt, got quite dark.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
And with all the wizardry and everything. This is really quite innocent. There's no violence in it. There's no sex and violence. It's just old-fashioned storytelling and a mystery. And as I say, it's a fantasy, so it's in this mythical village of Grippenham, which is in the mythical area of Shire Grip, in a mythical country of Gashia.
Okay.
And there's a crime committed, and one of the 4 children is a witness to this. And as a result of the crime, the mastermind tries to shut him up by giving him a mind-controlling potion. Very sinister. And unfortunately, his parents get to drink it by mistake. And without the antidote, this can be fatal. So then the whole adventure starts, where the main 2 characters, which is Arthur and I've forgotten her name. Evie.
Evie.
They are the 2 characters. They're twins. Then their cousin Mildred comes into it, and Arthur's best friend Tom, who is the person who saw it, and they go off on adventures and finding clues as to what it's all about and how to save the parents. Then they have to go on a big adventure to another town, and it's hints of magic all over the place and things just falling into place. A big fight at the end, and they may or may not save the day. Who knows?
You'll have to.
I know.
Have to read the book.
That's
Everybody.
right.
Yeah.
And Kerry,
Read the
I
book.
think this is a perfect time right now to
Yes.
take a break. And
Yes.
we're going to listen to some music from John Cee Stannard. So, folks,
Excellent.
get ready. Here you go.
You have to put yourself in the picture if you want to be seen. You gotta make your mark on the map to show where you have been. You gotta write your own history, make sure they don't forget. 'Cause if you don't ask for nothing, nothing is what you get. There's a woman way across town, you know she owns my heart. I don't mean to push too hard, but it's tearing me apart. I said, why have you ignored me so from the moment that we met? She said, if you don't ask for nothing, nothing is what you get. Oh, I believe I learned my lesson. Wish I'd learned it before. If you want to get into the room, you have to knock on the door. Now you hear me knocking so hard, I won't forget that if you don't ask for nothing, nothing is what you get. If you want to learn to swim, and if you want to win the prize, you have to put your ticket in. If you want to win the race, get ready, then get set. 'Cause if you don't ask for nothing, well, nothing is what you get. Oh, I believe I learned my lesson. Wish I'd learned it before. If you want to get into the room, you have to knock on the door. So now you hear me knocking so hard, so I don't forget. 'Cause if you don't ask for nothing, well, nothing is what you get. You gotta put yourself in the picture if you want to be seen. You gotta make your mark on the map to show where you have been. You gotta write your own history, make sure they don't forget that if you don't ask for nothing, nothing is what you get. No, if you don't ask for nothing, nothing is what you get. I said if you don't ask for nothing, well, nothing is what you get. Nothing is what you get. out last night, did I see your face? If that was you, it sure was some disgrace. Out last night, did I see your face? Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me what you've done. Won't you tell me what you've done? If that was you, you either own up or you run. It all depends on what you've done. Run to the river and pray. Run to the river and pray. Pray to the Lord to wash your sins away. When you run to the river and pray. Tell me what you've done. Won't you tell me what you've done? If that was you, you either own up or you run. It all depends on what you've done. Run to the river and pray. Run to the river and pray. Pray to the Lord to wash your sins away. When you
Wow, Monica and John, great songs. Oh my God, I'm getting chills over here. They're fabulous. It's fabulous music. Along with being an author and a songwriter, you also did films. Talk a little bit about your film work.
That was an unbelievably short period of time. I'm still registered with the agency, but nothing is happening. And I think whoever's looking after me upstairs knows that I'm just too busy for it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that I'd registered with an agency. This is only background artist work. This isn't proper acting, you understand. But the interesting thing was that I registered and was waiting, hoping something would come up. And then about 13, 14 years ago, I had some health issues. And out of the blue came the offer to do about a week's work on a Harry Potter movie. And I thought, wow, that's unbelievable. It's almost as if the world of spirit was saying, you've been through quite a bit. Have this as a present from us.
Yeah.
And there were people striving to get onto the Harry Potter movies. And I didn't do anything. I just sat at home and the phone rang. So it was like a gift. So I went along and I did that. And there were a couple of other just small things and a TV show about 2 years ago. But since then, every time the phone's rung or the text has come in, it's coincided with gigs and other commitments. And I just haven't been able to do it. So it was a very short-lived thing.
But it sounds like it was a lot of fun. You must have met some very interesting people. Skyfall. Oh my God, that's a
yes, I did do Skyfall. Yeah,
love that movie. So
yeah,
wow, that's amazing. So let's go on. We're now modern days. Let's talk about your new music and the new CDs you have, or from last year, and the one you're thinking about for this coming year, or for 17, I believe.
Yeah, well, this is the one that I did last year, which I think was shortly after I last spoke to you, Stone Cold Sober. The reviews I got on this kind of blew me away. I wasn't expecting such a great reception to the album. So that was fantastic. And this one is now finished. We finished the last of the mastering earlier this week. And it's now at the factory.
Oh, good.
So this is a mock-up of it, but that will be coming out at the end of January.
And that's To the River?
That's called To the River. And the title track is called Run to the River, which is a slightly gospel-y song. Cool. And I wanted a choir for this, and I've never worked with a choir before. So that was a challenge. We tried to organise getting it into the studio. That didn't work. And eventually we had to pack up computers into a van and travel about 30 miles to where they were and do field recording. It was the only way to get them. So they are on two songs here. I've got two slightly gospel-y ones. Run to the River, which is really it's about sort of having to do what's right at the end and pay the price for what you get up to. And the other gospel-y one is called The Good Lord Didn't Tell Me. And that is a bit of a tragedy, really. It's a song about standing at the graveside where she's laying and trying to cope with ultimate loss.
Mm-hmm. But people can relate to that, though. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we all have to face it, don't we, at some time or other? Yes. And it really does come as a big shock. I remember when I lost my father was the biggest one for me, which was 20 years ago now, but it took me 10 years to get over it.
Yeah.
And my mother was more recent. She left us 2 years ago, and of course she was that much older, and I'd had the experience of my father, so I suppose I was hardened a little bit. So that fell into place in a rather more normal way, shall we say.
Yes.
But I did write a song that was kind of about her, but it didn't make the final cut. So maybe that'll be on the next one.
Oh, wow. So out of all the CDs, and you have put out so many wonderful CDs over the years, do you have a favorite?
Yes. At any one time, the favorite is the current one.
Okay.
I mean, it has to be. And it's an interesting thing because other people are saying that this is probably the best one so far, which is encouraging.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Talking to my publicist earlier today, we had a meeting earlier this afternoon, and he was saying that every day a different track seems to be his favorite track, and he thinks, no, I've changed my mind. That's the best one.
Oh my gosh, that is saying much, because usually when you have an album or a group of songs like that come out, there might be 2 songs that fans just love.
Yeah.
But for someone to make a statement like that, wow.
I know. And the interesting thing is, again, something I'm thrilled about, is that you start listening to the album and it never gets to the point, at least that's how I think, where you start to think, oh, I've heard enough now, because new things are coming in. You get halfway through it and then there's a choir. Where did that come from? And then all of a sudden there's an old standard blues song. And you think, that's good. And then there's this reworking of House of the Rising Sun.
Right.
And that's followed by another one, which is my first 1-chord song. I've always wanted to write a 1-chord song.
Oh, you did do one, huh?
I've got one on here, and it's a train song. So it's got a fantastic rhythm to it.
All right.
And that's when another musician comes in. It's the first time the fiddle player appears on the album. So there's new things developing and new musicians coming in as you progress through it.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Sounds like it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. So, speaking of fans, where can we find A, your music, and B, your book?
The music you can find at my website, which is all the W's, johncstannard.co.uk. John is John, C is CEE. That's where all the music is there. This new one isn't there yet, but the EP that was released earlier this month, which is a blues Christmas EP, that is available. And it's a bit early to be playing a Christmas song on the radio, but there is one on here which isn't so much Christmas as seasonal. It's a winter love song.
Oh,
So you might decide, Monica, that you would like to have a listen to that and put that in the show. Who knows?
yeah, we're having a special Christmas show. It's actually going to be on Christmas Day. So we'll absolutely be playing some of your music.
That would be terrific.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. People.
And what would another thing I must send you, because I didn't think of it before we got on the air today, but last Christmas with Tudor Lodge we produced a Christmas EP. So I will send you that, and then if you wish to use that, then that would be lovely.
Oh yeah, more music the better. We just love
absolutely.
it. We
Absolutely.
celebrate the holiday. Well, thank you so much, John. That's wonderful. John, I am so proud of you. I mean, going from, you were successful in the folk, and then to just change to the blues, and you just seem to keep evolving.
That seems to be the way it's going, and it's not, as I said, it's not a conscious thing. It's I've been given this, and I feel blessed.
Yeah.
Well, you are absolutely blessed, and you are so talented. I'm going to ask this question. We haven't asked it in a while, but studio or live, which do you prefer?
They are completely different. And it's like saying to you, which of your two children do you like best? You don't
probably
answer
tell
that.
you that. No.
Yeah.
The one that behaves. That's
Yes, that's
Yes.
the one.
It's you can't beat live because it's that interaction is just amazing.
yeah.
It's also inspiring and things happening, and you get a buzz. But I absolutely adore the process in the recording studio, and we've developed a system now. When I go in to do an album, it's not the way most people work, and it creates a lot of work, but it seems to get me the results I want. So I go in to start with the rhythm section, and we record them, and then I just busk along to give them something to work with. So that gives us a guide for what I'm doing, but they're for real. And then we put the other musicians onto that, and then we throw away all my guitar work and I do it properly. And then towards the end, we then throw away all my vocals and I try to do that properly. But whenever we get the other musicians coming in, we say to them, don't worry about just doing something nice in your place. Smother it.
Yes.
Smother your stuff all over the whole track. And we take out the other instruments so they're not put off. So if the pianist is in there, we take the pianist out, just leave the harmonica to work or just the violin. And so they smother it. So when we come to mix, we have a mass of wonderful music.
Oh, I can imagine.
90% of it has to be thrown away. But it means we can pick the 10% that is really the best.
Yeah.
And we can put it where we want it. And it's really hard work because you have to be brutal with throwing away wonderful work that talented musicians have created for you. And that's kind of feels a little bit disloyal almost in a way.
Yeah.
But it's a system that seems to be working.
Yeah. Well, you get the highest quality then, and you get the sound you want.
I am getting exactly what I want. Yeah. And this is now the 5th CD that I've done with the blues since 2012 at this studio. And so they now know me really well. So we can work as a team.
Yeah. Yeah, they're used to it now. That's great.
Yeah. Right. Just one final question, John. You have been in the music business for 50 years now. You've seen changes. Where do you think music is going? I know a lot of people are saying do more indie. What is your feeling about the way music has changed?
It's a very difficult one, this one. Obviously, more and more people, there's so much more talent now than ever. And the marketplace is swamped with brilliant musicians who are creating great albums and writing terrific songs. So it means that the public can't focus their attention on the few brilliant people because there are so many of them, which is, I think, why the whole thing is becoming so diluted, and it's hard for anybody to make a living simply because the amount of competition. And then, of course, there's the technology, which has thrown so much out of the window. And because there's so much of it, it's a peculiar thing, but a lot of the public seem to think that it's their right to have it for free.
Yeah, that's what's so sad, and it's not their right. I mean, I tell people all the time, you'll go to Starbucks and spend $9 or more on a cup of coffee, but you won't go download a 99-cent or $3 song off the internet to support an artist, and that's horrible.
That's right. And I go into a studio to make that.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm self-financing, self-producing. So you're investing, what, $5,000, something like that?
thousands of
then you're
dollars.
paying another couple of $1,000 to have it circulated around, and you sell 24.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because somebody else rips it off, puts it on a site, and offers it to the world for nothing.
And but I have to say this to the people that are watching this and who will be sharing this show. It's your responsibility. You have kind of added to this. You've created this for the musicians. And what's going to happen if you don't purchase their music and you don't support your musicians? They're not going to be around anymore. They're going to get fed up with it. And I think if you're a fan of someone, stay a fan, be a fan, support them, follow them, talk about them, share them.
Mm-hmm. And that's really important to do that.
I think there's a lot of truth in what you say, Monica, but one thing I think is possibly not quite right is that the musicians won't disappear, because for us it's a passion.
Yes. Yeah,
and we're going to carry on playing if nobody's buying it, as long as somebody's listening and as long as we're having fun.
Yeah,
we're going to be doing.
It's kind of like writing also, isn't it? I mean, it's something that's in your soul and you have to do it. But I just hope that fans will be loyal and that fans will take a little bit of money. I mean, buy a present for somebody. Anytime you want to buy a present, go out and, share some music with them. Because music is something that's going to last forever. People can listen to it over and over. It's a great gift.
It is.
That's the phenomenal thing about it. And that's why we take so much care in the studio, because as my harmonica player is always saying, you can only push the final button once.
Yeah.
And it's there for the next 1,000 years.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, songs are around long after the musicians aren't, so it's true. But John, I just think that it's wonderful, the avenue you've taken, the songs that are coming out now, they're just excellent. Yeah, and I love them. And just keep on doing it.
Well, thank you. I will. Yeah. That is my intention.
Okay.
Always.
One more time for our viewers, where can we find your music and your book?
Well, the music is at www.johncstannard.co.uk. The book will be out in print next year. It is on Amazon at the moment, on Kindle.
Yes.
But I should say that since then we have done a lot of editing and tweaking, and so once the new one is out in print, then that one will be going on to replace the Kindle one, which will be next year. So in all fairness, I wouldn't persuade people to buy the edition that's there.
Right. Because
the next edition will just have a few little corrections and things in it.
Right.
Cool.
So wait for it.
Yes.
So wait for it would be my advice, yes. But it's got a lot of, when I say adult humor, I don't mean that in the racy way, but in the intellectual way. It's got a lot of kind of play on words and stuff like that. So it's a good read for adults as well as kids. I say it's kids from sort of 12 to 112.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
Hey, absolutely. Oh, thank you, John, so much for being with us.
Yes.
If you have any music or updates, you can send them to our It Matters radio site, Punky at itmattersradio.com. If you have updates on music, we would love to find out how you're doing.
Yeah.
And maybe next year you can come back with some more stuff. We'd love to have you.
That would be great, Kerry. I'd love to. Yes, I'll certainly look forward to talking to you and Monica again, no doubt, in the year.
Sounds good, John. It was so good to see you. Well, I know. Okay, John, keep in touch and take care, okay? Love from us.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh gosh, isn't he marvelous?
It's just
You
wonderful.
know,
Come
I
on.
always enjoy when John comes on. He's such,
Me too.
he's got so much enthusiasm and
Yes, he
he's
does.
got such talent. It's great. And
Yep.
the folks heard some of that music, but they're going to have to hear the next few songs that we have coming up too, because I wanted to
Yes.
show the diversity, and I know that they're going to love it. And before we do that, though, I want to let people know, first of all, if you're a writer, you can be a poet, flash fiction. Please, please, please submit your story tests for the holiday show. And when we say holiday, we mean it can be any type of holiday.
Hmm.
So, as far as this season, I mean, it could be Hanukkah, it could be Christmas, or
Kwanzaa, whatever.
yeah, Kwanzaa, whatever. And but we do want it to be flash fiction and or poetry. And you can send those to punky@itmattersradio.com or go to our website, www.itmattersradio.com. And you can also submit there. I would have to cough. I'm sorry, folks.
Hmm.
Also, Kerry, let them know about our shows during the week.
Well, you know what's really amazing, Monica, is we have such a variety of great music, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
During the week, Monday through Saturday, it's at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have a Euro indie music. We have world stage music on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
On Saturdays,
It's world music stage, but
Royal saying thank you.
okay.
And then Saturdays, it's Ion Magazine. Am I correct?
Actually, on Thursday night,
Thursday is Ion.
we have Eon Indie Magazine's featured guest of the month. That's okay, Kerry. Kerry. Let me tell you, folks. She hears from so many musicians and different groups. It's the wonder the woman remembers anything. But on Saturday we have the world music stage.
Right. Okay. I flipped it. Sorry, folks.
But that's okay. But the good thing about there's two of these that are very interesting, and another good reason to help a musician, because the the indie music that you hear Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you get to vote on. So you can go to a website. We always have it there during the show, so you can write it down or whatever. If you like one song, two songs, three songs, it doesn't matter. Go to the website and vote for that particular song. And on Friday, we will have the outcome, the top 20 highest voted songs. And world music stage, people get on there rather the same way, but not exactly. What they have is a free website for artists, and this is wonderful. These people, Ion Indie Magazine, are volunteers. World Music Stage, they put this website up for free, and artists can go on there. They can post their music, which people can download for 99 cents, $1.28, something like that. They also can go on there and comment and like and share different artists. So whoever gets that most activity, the most downloads, the most likes, the most hubbub, I guess, about their song, they get into the top 10 music chart for that week. So you're voting for two different music charts per week just by watching our shows during the week.
Yeah. And let's talk about Sundays, folks. Sundays is our very special show, 3 p.m. Eastern, where we feature guests, and we also have had music shows, which have been fabulous, by the way. Don't miss that, 3 p.m. Eastern, by all means, every Sunday. And we have fabulous guests, guys. They're amazing, talented people.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And Kerry, you do a good job with that, I tell you. So, folks, anyway, we just wanted to update everybody about what's going on. I know we've talked a little bit, but hey, spread the word, share our show with other people, get involved, and keep the music going. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, me too. Amen.
That's right. So, guys, get ready for some more music. Here you go, and take care. Bye-bye. Bye,
Bye.
Kerry.
Floodwater rising on my home. Floodwater rising on my home. Getting higher and higher since you've been gone. Lucky star won't be shining tonight. My lucky star, he don't shine so bright. Since you've been gone, he's keeping out of sight. Storm drain set to overflow. Storm drain set to overflow. Since you've been gone, he's got no place to go. Floodwater, leave me high alone. Floodwater, would all be gone. If you would only come back to my home. There's flotsam brushing on my door. There's flotsam brushing on my door. I don't think I can take this stuff no more. Floodwater washing over me. Floodwater washing over me. I'm drowning in my own misery. Floodwater rising on my home. Tell my baby sister not to do what I have done. Shun that house in New Orleans they call the rising sun. There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many poor boys. God, I know I'm one. God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor, sewed my new blue jeans, and my father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk, and the only time that he is satisfied is when he's all drunk. When he's all drunk. Well, mothers, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. In the house of the rising sun. I got one foot on the platform, I got one foot on the train, and I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. Wear that ball and chain. If I'd listened to what my mama said, I'd be home today. But being young and foolish, rising sun took me away. Rising sun took me away. So mothers, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. In the house of the rising sun. There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many poor boys. God, I know I'm one. Oh God, I know I'm one. So tell my baby sister not to do what I have done. Shun that house in New Orleans they call the rising sun.